If you are just tuning in, this is NBC's Sheila Mack Show here on KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. I'm your host, Sheila Mack, and I'd like to give a special thank you and shout out to the sponsors of this episode, Smart Labels. Hey listeners, let me tell you about a company you may not have heard of, Smart Labels. The company is making inventory management simple and very affordable for small business owners. Here's how it works. You buy the Smart Labels QR code stickers on Amazon. When the stickers arrive, just slap one on a container or shelf, download the Smart Labels app on your mobile device, scan the code, and the app creates a digital container for you. Write down all the information about the items you are cataloging and take a picture. You'll have all your inventory easily searchable in the palm of your hand. Sticker packs cost $16 and the subscription is only $30 per year. Get your Smart Label stickers on Amazon today.
Are you ready for a reboot? Welcome to the Sheila Mack Show, reality at its finest. History reminds us those hit hardest often become the change makers. This year, we've all hit crazy economic, social, and emotional rock bottoms. We all get knocked down. Something hits globally, locally, personally. It affects our health, finances, our relationships. We have to recreate a business or career. Each show, Sheila and her special guest will be sharing their reboot stories, guiding you with real solutions to upgrade and up-level emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Here on NBC's KCAA Radio. If you're ready to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and bra straps, enjoy a listen. Here's Sheila.
Welcome to the Sheila Mack Show, reality at its finest. Here we have real people sharing real stories and actionable steps to help you reinvent, rebuild, and reboot your business and personal life on your terms. I'm your host, Sheila Mack, and welcome to this very special segment where we're combining the beautiful law of attraction along with actionable steps to help you actually manifest and bring into your life your desired outcomes even faster. So, do you remember vision boards? Do you still do them? I do. And they can be really powerful tools for manifesting the life you desire. But I have something that's a little different that I do on a regular basis that has really helped me. And so, on the first part of this show, I'm going to go into detail on the steps to take. And if you are a realist, then this is still part of creating a solid plan. You've got to have a vision. You need to have a map as to where you want to go so that you know where to start and what steps you need to take. So, this is a really important part of designing that life that you've always wanted. You may be at a point in your life. One thing that I talk about a lot in this show and in my book is that there's different phases in our life where we go through things. And we've all gone through a lot over the last 3, 4, 4 years with um, pandemics and interest rates going crazy and inflation that hasn't even started to get wild yet, but it is different than it was. And so things have changed, and now is the best time to start changing the life that you're living to something that maybe you desire a little bit more. And you'll be surprised. Sometimes it's a really simple, easy few things that can make a huge difference in your outcome. So, the first thing I want to do is I want to take a little bit of time and delve into an exercise together. So, now if you're driving, you're going to have to use your mind's eye and keep your eye on the road and think about this. Or I would love for you to tune in and listen to this show at another time, at least to this first part. So you can listen now and just pay attention to everything else you need to do. And then go to my YouTube channel, and that's Sheila Mack Show on YouTube. And there you can rewatch this show and get into a place where you can do this exercise fully. So it maybe you listen to it now, and then later on you're going to go back, go to Sheila Mac Show on YouTube, and there all my shows are uploaded, so you can watch the show again and do the exercise fully. If you are in a safe place and you're not doing anything dangerous, and you can sit quietly or be on your bed or sofa, you can close your eyes if you're in that space. And if not, just take a listen and then come back for this activity. So close your eyes and picture your perfect day. Imagine who you're with, whether it's your partner, your spouse, your children, loved ones, who's all around you. Now focus on your home environment. What does that look like? What does it feel like to wake up in your bed? Or on the floor, on the sofa, or in your van because you're traveling, or maybe it's a motorhome and you're going to wake up and open the door and be at the beach. What does that look like? Whatever that is for you, it's going to be different for each of us. But how does it make you feel? Imagine the details as much as you can. Now, while you're imagining this, I want you to take a moment, come back to the present. And when you were picturing that right now, was that in vivid color, or was it dark or dull or black and white, gray? Because I want you to go back into your mind's eye, into your vision, closing your eyes, or thinking with your eyes open, and envisioning this, and bring color into it. What does it smell like? Do you have a beautiful candle burning, or incense, or do you smell the ocean outside? What are the sounds that you hear? What do you hear? A puppy playing in the background? I do. In fact, there's one at my feet. So that was perfect timing. So what do you hear? Think about when you go to brush your teeth and you start your day in the morning and you look in the mirror. What do you look like? Are you in the best shape of your life, or getting into the best shape of your life now? Are you like looking 10 or 20 years younger because you just feel incredible, and you're building in healthy habits and really living the life that you kind of want to do, but you never get around to it? So what does that look like for you? And, what does your puppy look like? Do you have puppies or kittens or birds, or do you have no pets? um, do you have somebody bringing you breakfast in bed? Um, Maybe it's your loved one, your partner, or it could be that you have a personal chef that creates all your healthy, nutritious, or delicious meals, and they could be all three. And maybe you have that personal chef and you have somebody helping you to do everything around the house because you don't like housework. That could be your thing. What does your vision entail? It could be that you have time in the morning finally to do what you love. You might want to sit down and read. Maybe you want to get into your spiritual practice. And so that might be part of after your breakfast routine. It could be that you go work out. It could be that you go play tennis or golf. And maybe you just want to do your spiritual studies, whatever your spiritual or religious inclination is. Or it could just be that you go on a beautiful walk in nature. And who's with you? Where are you walking? Are you in the canyon? Are you walking alone? Are you taking a hike? Um, or is somebody driving you to your favorite spot? Or are you driving your new car? So these are kind of fun things to think about. Now, in your perfect vision, I want you to really think about your career as well, whatever you're doing for income or passive income, or are you working, or are you volunteering your time to a cause that really has you at your heartstrings? Something that makes a difference on this planet, that whether it's for puppies and kittens, or helping people get through difficult situations. How are you using your time to give back in contribution? Because there's something that happens as you're living your dreams that when you get to finally be in contribution and give back, it just makes it even better when you wake up in the morning, especially when it's something that you've always wanted to do. Now, I want you to take a moment and go back in time. Think about when you were younger, and you might still be super young. I don't know who's listening, but whoever you are, think about something or some things in your life that you loved to do, that when you do these things, they make you feel alive. That could be a run on the beach, it could be a hike, it could be dressing up and going shopping. It could be going out with your friends or knitting. Everybody's different, but what are those things that maybe you loved doing? Baking, cooking, going out to fancy restaurants, going out dancing. What is it that you stopped? Maybe you stopped at some time in your life because um, you had children, or you had to go to college or start your career, and all of a sudden, maybe you just had a puppy like I do at my feet, and this puppy is like going crazy, and and she's being cute. Wanted a puppy, and you just didn't know if you had time for a puppy. And then you found one that you fell in love with, and she wanted to be on the show too. And so you brought your puppy with you. Is that what it is? Maybe you have a dog and you love your dog so much, and you've always wanted to get your dog certified so that you could take your dog everywhere. So I think there's a special license you can get for your dog, and your dog can literally travel the world with you. So think about those things. Whatever it is for you, it's going to be different for everyone. Now, gently bring your awareness back to the present moment and ask yourself, what is different between that vision of my perfect life and how my life looks right now?
To be resuscitated. You need a guide to show you how we get through a situation like this, to give you resources and to help you get out of the emotional pea soup fog of dealing with a crisis and the resulting fallout. I've been there, and I'm here to help you. Out of the fog. If you weren't emotionally bound up in your situation, you would have more clarity. You would be able to see your best options for dealing with whatever comes up. If the version of yourself who has already walked through this rock bottom and come out the other end could go back in time and give you, the you right now, some advice, what would she say? Would she tell you to slow down, to stop rushing, that you don't have to have all the answers today? Would the future you recommend not making any major decisions without reviewing them first, particularly while you're still in the fog? Would she tell you that normal is going to look different for a while, but that you will feel normal again? In case we haven't invented time travel by the time you read this book, I'm here to tell you all of the above. I developed the Boots formula to help you learn to make choices, have a life shift, and make great things happen based on your individual values and best life vision. A change is going to happen, and it's worth it. There's a stage where it feels like everyone in your life is picking at you. Life itself may seem like it's trying its best to stop you from doing whatever you want to do. All you hear is, "That's a stupid idea," and "That's never going to work," and "Who do you think you are?" One of the hardest things for people to do is to realign and possibly walk away from anything and anyone that conflicts with their value systems. But you are going to discover that power within yourself. Through the activities and examples in this book, you will discover your true north and will be able to easily do what is needed to move forward with your life. Anything that hurts you, that doesn't resonate for you, that fights against what you want and believe in, you are going to give it the boot. Once you have turned your rock bottom moment into a positive, beautiful life shift, you can live your life on your terms. Your life will probably look different, but you get to design it this time. You are taking your life back, and you are in charge, not anybody else. Sooner than you can imagine, you'll be in the career of your dreams or the relationship you always wanted. Because you are going to learn to develop healthy boundaries. Because you are going to do things differently along the way from here to there. You will begin to attract the people, the job, the place to live, all of the opportunities that align with who you are, your essence, your truth, not anybody else's or even society's expectations of the way you're supposed to be. Once you have accepted that you are in charge of living your life and you begin to embody living your truth, people are going to see you. They're going to be inspired by you. Then you're going to hear, "Hey, can you show me how you did that? I want to do it too." When you assess your peer group and up-level according to your life purpose and vision, and once you have created a life shift for yourself, whatever that looks like, your life is not just full, it's fulfilled. Not only do you get more and better sleep, you wake up feeling rested and happy. You know that you're doing what you need to do. Yes, sometimes your heart will call you to leave certain friends or family members in order to find a more aligned peer group. From what I've seen, however, the ones who leave always return to lead their family and friends to success. Because your friends are more in alignment with your beliefs and value system, they support you while also pushing you toward your personal best. Life still involves work, but as a whole, it feels far more effortless. But you don't have to wait for the right person, right job, or right investment opportunity to show up. You can start living now so that every moment as you go forward through the process of recovering from rock bottom and redesigning your life is one more step to being the best version of you, the one who came back.
And that's an example of the introduction to the Boots formula, which is in my new best-selling book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, the formula to go from rock bottom back into action in any situation. And the book is really about life and lifestyle design. It's about how to reinvent and reboot your life, especially when you've gone through a life shift. When shift happens, and it does, and so it goes into various chapters. There's one about grieving and overcoming loss, which many of us have had a loss in our life, especially over the last few years. We've known at least somebody that we've lost, whether it's someone close or someone, I don't know how many times on Facebook I've seen losses that I've never seen the numbers as these last few years. So it's been interesting and difficult. And so that book walks you through the process of different types of situations. We get into relationships, and that includes your relationship with who you're dating or your significant other, your partner. It gets into relationships with your parents who are aging, which you may be experiencing now. It gets into your children, parenting, and that really important relationship that kind of shifts when your children grow up and start to move out of the house and are adults, and how that relationship changes. And so there's a whole chapter on some important conversations to have, different ways to change that dynamic a little bit to make it more of an adult relationship, and that really helps a lot. There's some people that struggle in that area, so it's really helpful. And the entire book guides you to the process of lifestyle design, which is the final chapter. And each chapter, you're going to go to the chapter that you're focused on in your life. It could be career, could be relationship, So, depending on what you are experiencing, then once you go through that chapter, you can read the rest of the book, and then you want to go to the lifestyle design. And that has lots of activities and steps that you can take to redesign your life on your terms. Now's the time, okay? And you can get that book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and wherever fine books are sold. All right, and now we are back. Thanks again to our sponsors for this show, and I bring you a little bit about myself. I have been in the real estate business in one way or another for over 30 years. I know I started when I was like 5 or something. So that is my real estate experience. And it started way back when I was 19 and I invested in my first triplex. I really loved the experience. At the time, I started working. I have to go back a little bit. I started working at JPL as a programmer in the engineering department when I was 18 years young. That job helped me to qualify for that first investment. I also saved every penny I had and I had extra jobs. So, my extra jobs, and that's why don't ever be ashamed to roll up your sleeves and do some extra side work to rebuild or to bring in more passive income in the near future. It's all good. So what I would do is on the weekends, I used to go buy the public storage and I'd go to the auctions and then sell that stuff at the swap meet while I was working at JPL. And I literally dressed really old because I looked super, super young for my age at that time. And so it was one of those things. And so on the weekend, I got to go to the swap meet and dress more like myself. And over time, I realized that I was actually making more money doing those sales than I was making at the job programming computers. Back this is like back in the DOS day. We did not even have internet yet, y'all. So it was quite a different time. DOS, database base 3 plus, all these old, I mean, it was really antiquated. And at JPL, we actually had something called the intranet, and it was like an internet. So I knew that was like eventually going to show up in the real world, but we were way away from there. And so I had to physically go. You couldn't like sell things online like you can easily do today. So I had to go sell things at the swap meet. And I was making so much money that I finally decided to save. I made my first investment. I opened my first gift store. I rented that out. I negotiated an incredible deal, and the landlord paid for quite a bit of my remodeling that needed to be done. This was a beautiful building that had been vacant for I don't know how many years, many, many years. And so I got a good deal, but my rent was still $1 a square foot, 5,000 square feet, so $5,000 a month, which was a lot of money. So I had to quickly learn how to run a gift store, and I really didn't like that rent every month. I felt like, wait a minute. Now I had, started to pay. This is when I was 23. So by then I was paying down and almost paid off with that property, that first property. And so now I'm taking my income from the property and I'm paying my rent while I'm building up the business and learning how to make money in the retail store. And so that took a little bit of time. And I did hire a marketing expert. So I do say that it is always good to hire an expert. And if you hire an expert that can teach you, coach you, and help you, it's going to make all the difference in your life. I interviewed so many marketing experts and found somebody that would teach me and explain what was it was a lady, and she explained what she was doing, why she was doing it, and how to collaborate with others, uh, advertising for way less. So I chose her, and she really worked with me and taught me. And before you know it, I was making a lot of money at my stores. And I started with the one store, and I had already decided about 6 months in, I decided I wanted to go ahead and buy my next building. And so that's what I did. And, when I started, I was this kid at 23 and I looked super young. I looked younger than 23. And so all the other store owners were like, "Who's this kid? Who does she think she is?" And the next thing you know, they're coming to me and they're like, "Hey, can you teach me what you're doing? How are you doing this?" And, I was having fun. I had zero fear. I learned about business credit. We had net 30, net 90, then it went to net 120 with the retail store. And then I built my retail credit. I did S Corp. And so I was able to buy cars. And then the next thing I did was I started to buy property using business credit versus my personal credit. And sometimes I use both on the property investing, but I was able to buy the other locations and I ended up with 5 stores. My stores also had heart. So giving back and contribution is really important. Contribution was I had come from being in and out of foster homes. And so I wanted to give back. So I did create an open source learning program. JPTA at the time, they called it, it was a government sponsored training program. And the government would fund me, but I had to show. I literally had the camcorder, like it was 20 pounds. It wasn't like your phone. It wasn't easy to film. And I had somebody carrying this around, and I would film my trainings. I wrote I also had to write like this whole guidebook on how to do each aspect of running a gift store. And my young adults were considered at-risk youth who they were emancipating or graduating from foster care, usually group homes. And they needed work and no one wanted to hire them. So it was perfect because I was able to train them. They were paid top dollar through the funding that the program gave me. And that was beautiful because I didn't have a lot of funds when I started out. And it was really, my heart was in it to help these kids. So, like the store manager that I hired, I found her at Nordstrom's and we became friends because I used to shop there a lot. And she wanted to have flexible time to go travel with her husband. And so the beauty of hiring my friend was that she was able to sell at Nordstrom. So she was a top salesperson, but her background was in social work. And so she was probably the age I am today. And she said, "How am I working for a 23-year-old kid? And you're my boss?" And I was like, "Yes." And so we became even closer friends, and her heart was helping those kids. And so she was like my non-official social worker, helping me guide these young adults through every aspect of running a store. And with all that, I was able to go ahead and start buying. And I also worked part-time. Even though I owned these buildings, I worked and I trained under a broker. And I was an assistant before I even got licensed while I was still investing. And I learned every aspect about real estate and later got my license. I continued to invest in buildings and I started helping the other store owners as a coach, as a consultant with their businesses and marketing because I hired a marketing consultant that helped me learn what I was doing and coached me versus just someone that did everything for me. And that made a big difference. And then I also helped them with my real estate license to later buy. And it was even going back to if you are listening in and you own a business, or you can own a business in one way or another easily, then, business credit is going to be so much better than doing what a lot of the store owners did back then was they actually would take these revolving loans, like they call them HELOC, um, and they had different names for them, but they're loans on your home. And so they would tap into their equity every summer to buy for Christmas. You have to buy your merchandise in July. So people are getting ready to do this year. If you're listening in, I just saved you a ton. Go ahead and get your business credit started so that you can start buying your merchandise for your business on business credit. You can buy a car, you can buy property later as you build your credit. So make sure that you pay it off. But this actually protects your own nest egg, your own personal property from any issues. And if you have another season of another pandemic, I hope that never happens again, where you don't know if your business is going to be closed for months and months. It's not your credit that gets affected, it's the business credit that would have gotten it affected. So very important, make note of that. All right, so that's a little bit about how I started, and I've continued to be in the real estate industry and leading courses. So I've led some masterminds and courses on 1031 exchange and commercial investing. So if you are an investor, or you have a duplex, triplex, maybe a few units somewhere, you are able to actually do something called a 1031 exchange. And that's where you don't have to pay capital gains tax when you sell a property, as long as you buy same like type of income property. It could be a different income property, but you could go from, maybe you have residential and you want commercial, or you want to mix. You can do that, and you don't have to pay capital gains, which gives you so much more money and leverage to work with. Now, the 1031 exchange, you have to check in your state. It's still legal in many places, and it's a wonderful way, but you're on a time clock. So you have to identify 3 properties within a very short time, and then you have 180 days to close escrow on one of those properties that you've identified, in order to avoid the capital gains. So that makes it a little stressful. And that is why, if you are getting into the game of exchanging to save capital gains, and you want to build your nest egg or get more passive income, and you already have started, that's where you really do want to work with a good agent that can help you. And in some states, it's a lawyer. In other states, it's an accommodator that you're going to need to work with to help you with the 1031 exchange process. It's pretty simple, but it's simple if you're in the business. So work with an agent that can help you. I have an incredible team that I work with. So if you are looking for somebody that can help you with that, I do have my license with Keller Williams in Beverly Hills, and I help people with relocation. I also help with the commercial, and I have a specialist on the team that I can refer you to that will hold your hand through the process and get you to that exchange in an easy way. And so that's something that you can contact me through my website, SheilaMack.com, and I'm happy to help you with that. Now, I want to go back a little bit, because we're talking about a lot of things, but they're all related to your vision. I mean, how can you fuel the life of your dreams if you're working full time all the time? Now, there is nothing wrong, especially in this season with inflation. It's all good to go and make some extra income, get some extra sources, do a little part-time gig for the short term to start investing more. I have invested in some properties where inflation was crazy, loans were high, way higher than they are now. And I was able to find the best income producing properties, because if you work with somebody or you know what you're doing, you just have to hunt. And you do make your money in the buy, whether that's stock or property. You're going to make your money when you buy properly, and so that's really important. Obviously, it goes to location, location, location. When someone says it's impossible, you just have to pay XYZ, there is nothing better. Well, to a certain extent, there is a point. Yes, but when you do the right homework and you have someone that is skilled at doing this type of investing, it's going to make all the difference between maybe getting into something that's going to be more work than it's worth, or costing you money. So that's where you want to work with a licensed agent that can help you. And I am happy to refer you to one on my team. Wherever you are in the country, we have an incredible group that I work with where I know these agents have multiple years of experience and have done this particular process many, many times. And I want to go back now to, if you are investing, maybe you want to invest for the first time, or you're getting back after COVID maybe has knocked you down for a minute in your business or your personal life, and you want to get back into a home or get into a rental property opportunity. There are some incredible mortgage brokers out there that have some ways to help you with first time home buyers, or different programs that will actually save you a lot of money that you may not know about. So if you look on my YouTube channel on Sheila Mack Show, I do have an episode. I actually just played it recently, and where I interviewed the owner of the mortgage company that works across the United States and helps people find the best interest rates and all the different first time home buyer or different deals that you may not know about, to not have to put as much down, or maybe there's no money down depending on your circumstance. So group and many others will also help you with fixing, repairing your credit, getting qualified. What do you need to do to get qualified? It could take you 6 months. It could take you a year. It could take you a minute, and you might be surprised. You might already be ready to go and not even know it. So that's where it's really important, again, to work with people that are experts in their industry. That's going to make all the difference in how much money you end up paying, interest rates, money down, the whole thing. So that is something to get started with. And many people know this already, but you can also buy a duplex, triplex, up to 4 units, and you get to qualify for that mortgage loan. If you need to get a loan, which most of us do when you're starting out, you're able to use the rental income from the other units, but you have to live in one of the units. And that's going to get you the passive income to go ahead and buy that first property. So that's something that a lot of my adult kids have done or are doing, planning to do. And that was what I did when I started out. So, when you're young, you don't really care. You don't have to have the fancy house or a little house if you're okay with that. It's worth it. For me, it was worth it because later I could have beautiful homes that I love. So that was how I started my process. I lived in the smallest, not so great unit. And everybody's else's unit had nicer things than mine when I started out, because that's how I had to do it. And those tenants paid that mortgage for me. And that, it could even start with, if you're already in a home, maybe you have a room to rent, maybe you have another way. Maybe earlier in the show, we did talk about manifesting the life you desire. It may be that you want to travel more. And so maybe you do rent your home out part of the year and you just travel. I actually was a super host with one of the big rental companies for many years. And I did do just that. And I got to travel quite a bit. And the people that rented out my home and the different places I had on that vacation rental platform actually funded my travels. And I got to travel the world for 7 years full time. And I even rented out my own space, because why am I going to not? And I just stayed at really beautiful 5-star hotels and had the time of my life. And so there's so many ways to design the life that you desire. And it could be starting from where you're at right now. My youngest son, he went ahead and he was in college, and he like learned from me just being around me, I guess. And he rented a house, and then he sub rented to all these other college kids, and he didn't pay anything, and he lived for free while going to college and having a blast. And So he did his own arbitrage, and it may not have been with all the contracts signed the way they were supposed to be and all that good stuff, but that's what he did. And so there's lots of ways. It's probably better to do it the right way for sure. There's definitely ways to get started. So talking to someone that is a real estate agent or perhaps a consultant or coach or both is a great way to get started to create that lifestyle that you always want. And if you're interested in working with your home that you already own or creating that, buying that first home or building your wealth through passive income through property investing, then I'd love to talk with you. So you can schedule a consultation with me. That you can schedule at sheilamac.com. All right. And also, again, if you are looking for an agent to help you in relocating, getting a second home, or just starting out, I have wonderful agents on my team that I can refer you to, or also, depending on your location, I may be able to work with you personally in one form or another. So I look forward to hearing from you if that's what you're interested in. And even if you are just thinking about this in your own way and maybe property isn't the way to go, make sure you work with experts that can help you save money and time. You're going to save years working with the experts that can help you. So I hope that this show gave you some ideas, some fuel for thought on how you can start tomorrow. Like literally tomorrow, you can do one thing for yourself to create the life you desire now. All right. I look forward to seeing you next time. And as always, I wish you life, love, laughter, and light. ACAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. I'm your host, Sheila Mack, and this portion of the show is all about real estate strategies for your dream lifestyle. So, in this portion, I'm going to help you to discover the benefits of buying either a vacation home or a second main home. I'm your host, Sheila Mack, and I am a licensed real estate agent with Keller Williams Beverly Hills. Today, we'll explore the incredible opportunities and advantages of owning a second property, especially if you're in California. We'll also share inspiring success stories from happy families who have turned their dreams into reality. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of vacation homes and or second homes. Now, picture this. You're living in the bustling city of beautiful Beverly Hills, California, enjoying the excitement and luxury that it offers. But you also yearn for a peaceful retreat, a place where you can escape from the fast-paced city life. That's exactly what Paul and Kathy felt like. My clients, yes, they made the decision to sell their home in Beverly Hills and move to the beautiful suburb of Summerlin, Nevada. Let's hear about their story. So Paul and Kathy were seeking a change, a shift towards a more relaxed and serene lifestyle. They wanted to be closer to nature and enjoy the benefits of a golf resort community. By selling their Beverly Hills property, they were actually able to unlock a world of opportunities. The first thing I helped them do is, of course, sell their home, and they negotiated to purchase a beautiful rental property also in the Los Angeles Beverly Hills area. So they kept one of the 4 units they purchased as their vacant home, and that is where they stay, and also where their family and friends can come and visit and stay. This allowed them to maintain a connection to their roots while embarking on a new adventure. But that's not all. You see, the pricing of homes is really affordable over in these beautiful communities. Lake Las Vegas, Summerlin, Las Vegas, Nevada is incredible. It is just one flight away. We have a beautiful private, semi-private JSX Air, who I love, and no, they're not paying for that plug, but I love them. It's almost like a chartered flight, and it's very affordable. You can be back in California at your job or visiting with family and friends. It's a 30-minute or so flight, and literally you just have to show up 20 minutes in advance. So it's pretty easy to do, and it's faster than a commute to the valley or to the beach. Now, one of the fantastic benefits for Paul and Kathy of living in Nevada is that as long as you reside in Nevada for 6 months and 2 days, you can be considered a resident. This residency status allowed them to save thousands of dollars in state tax payments while fueling their dream vacation lifestyle. Paul and Kathy's story is one example of how owning a vacation home or a second home or a home that becomes your main residence can enhance your life in numerous ways. It's about finding a home that serves you and complements your desired lifestyle rather than the other way around. When you have a place to retreat to, a place where you can relax and recharge, it brings a whole new level of fulfillment. That's right. So Kathy and Paul are able to just hop on one of the JSX flights, go back and forth, and they stay in their beautiful one of their units. They got 4 units, condos that were really nice, and rented the others out. And so they're just doing really well. They increased their cash flow. They actually were able to pay their home off in the Summerlin area, and they also have the cash flow from the other tenants paying for their mortgage on that passive income investment that they have, where they have their second little home, and so they are doing real well. Basically, the tenants are paying off their mortgage. They're paying that down quickly, because then all that income will become just passive rental income, while providing them with the option of living in both areas throughout the year and enjoying the seasons and the fun that Las Vegas has, as well as the beauty of Beverly Hills in California. Now, they are just one example of how owning this vacation home, second home, can enhance your life in numerous ways. It's about finding a home that serves you and complements your desired lifestyle, rather than the other way around. Okay, so when you have a place to retreat, a place where you can relax and recharge, it brings a whole new level of fulfillment. So one of the questions I always ask my clients is this simple question. Think about this. Is your house serving you, or are you at the point where you're serving your house? And how can we flip that around? So I am a lifestyle coach, consultant, and also a licensed real estate agent. I also teach courses online directly to real estate agents regarding 1031 exchanges, commercial investing, and actually help other agents to create a lifestyle that they desire with real estate property investments. So there's many different ways to work with me. I actually have an incredible team, and so I do lots of referral work, and I also handhold you through the process to make sure that you are getting your needs met. So if you'd like to contact me, I'd love to set up a strategy session with you. So you might be wondering how you can get started on your own journey towards owning a vacation home or a second home. Now, just to give you an example, home prices are in the mid to high 300,000s, of course, on up to $1 million plus, depending on what you like. And some of those prices, even on the lower range, are in beautiful gated resort style communities with all the amenities. So it's a pretty nice way to make a change and enjoy both worlds. Now, as a licensed real estate agent with Keller Williams Beverly Hills, I do specialize in real estate strategies that help you live the life you've always wanted. Whether you're looking for a serene beachfront property, a cozy cabin in the mountains, or a luxurious golf resort home, I can guide you through the process and help you find the perfect fit for your dreams. If you're ready to take the next step, I encourage you to join our mastermind today. Our community of like-minded individuals shares valuable insights, experiences, and resources to support you and your goals and your real estate journey. Building wealth, creating wealth for you that's generational wealth. You can also visit my website at sheilamac.com, SHEILAMAC.com, and fill out a contact form to learn how I can assist you in turning your dreams into reality. Or if you'd like to really get started, schedule a consult with me today. Thank you again for tuning into this section of the show on real estate strategies for your dream lifestyle. I hope you found it inspiration in Paul and Kathy's story and are excited about the possibilities that owning a vacation home or a second home or a new first main home can bring to your life and your pocketbook. Remember, it's all about finding a home that serves you and helps people you live with and helps you to design the life you've always wanted. Until next time, this is Sheila Mac signing off. And again, you can reach me also direct. Call the Keller Williams office at 310-432-6400 and ask for Sheila Mac. My team and I will coordinate a strategy session with you to get started on creating the life of your dreams. Tune in again right here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. If you are just tuning in, this is NBC's Sheila Mac Show here on KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. I'm your host, Sheila Mac, and today I'd like to give a special thank you and shout out to Oxford Cafe Detroit for being the sponsors of this episode. Join a community of luxury and leisure enthusiasts. Oxford Cafe Detroit is an apparel design studio and concept cafe for the luxury and leisure enthusiasts and industry professionals. View our shop of limited production goods with understated clean designs, locally crafted quality, contemporary leisure, luxury apparel, goods, and curated coffees. Join our community of creatives, tastemakers, and industry professionals by tuning in to our podcast, The Cool Report, for weekly updates on product collection, drops, private member events, and luxury and leisure industry headline conversations including fashion, art, design, travel, food, and more. Enjoy 15% off your first order with the promo code WELCOME15 at www.oxfordcafedetroit.com.